Daniel 10, verse 1. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a word was revealed to Daniel, who was called Belteshazzar. And the word was true, and it referred to a great tribulation, a conflict and wretchedness. And he understood the word and had understanding of the vision. 2. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning for the 3 whole weeks. I ate no pleasant or desirable food, nor any meat or wine came into my mouth. I did not anoint myself at all for 3 full weeks. 4. On the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was on the bank of the great river Hiddekel, which is the Tigris, I lifted up my eyes and looked, and beheld a man clothed in fine linen, whose loins were girded with pure gold of Uphaz. His body was also a golden luster like beryl. His face had the appearance of lightning, and his eyes were like flaming torches. His arms and his feet were like glowing burnished bronze, and the sound of his words were like the noise of a multitude of people, or the roaring of a sea. So that's verse 6. The description sounds a lot like the Lord, but it's not referring to him as the Lord. The eyes, flashing eyes of fire, I've seen like torches. You know, his golden luster. So it must be one of the archangels. Let's continue. Verse 7. And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision of this heavenly being. For the men who were with me did not see the vision, but a great trembling fell upon them, so that they fled to hide themselves. Verse 8. So I was left alone and saw this great vision, and no strength was left in me, for my fresh appearance was turned to pallor, and I grew weak and faint with fright. 10. And behold, a hand touched me, which set me unsteadily upon my knees and upon the palms of my hand. And the angel said to me, O Daniel, you greatly beloved man, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for to you I am now sent. And while he was saying these words to me, I stood up trembling. 12. Then he said to me, Fear not, Daniel. From the first day that you set your mind and heart to understand and to humble yourself before God, your words were heard. And I have come as a consequence and in response to your words. 13. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me for 21 days. Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, for I remained there with the kings of Persia. Okay, 14. Now I have come to make you understand what is to befall your people in the latter days, for the vision is for many days yet to come. 15. And when he had spoken to me according to these words, I turned my face toward the ground and was dumb. And behold, one in the likeness of the sons of men touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke. I said to him who stood before me, O my Lord, by reason of the vision, sorrows and pains have come upon me, and I retain no strength. 17. For how can my Lord's servant, who is so feeble, talk with this, my Lord? For now no strength remains in me, nor is there any breath left in me. 18. Then there touched me again one whose appearance was like that of a son, like that of man, and he strengthened me. He said, O greatly beloved, fear not, peace be to you. Be strong, yes, be strong. And when he had spoken to me, I was strengthened. And he said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, Do you know why I have come to you? And now I will return to fight with the hostile prince of Persia. And when I have gone, behold, the hostile prince of Greece will come. But I will tell you what is inscribed in the writings of the truth or the book of truth. There is no one who holds with me and strengthens himself against these hostile spirit forces, except Michael, your prince, your national guardian. Daniel 11, verse 1. Also I, the angel, in the first year of Darius the Mede, even I stood up to confirm and to strengthen him, Michael, the angelic prince. Verse 2. And now I will show you the truth. Behold, there shall arise three more kings in Persia, and a fourth shall be far richer than they all. And when he has become strong through his riches, he shall stir up and stake all against the realm of Greece. 3. Then a mighty, warlike, threatening king shall arise, who will rule with great dominion and do according to his own will. 4. And as soon as he has fully arisen, this is Alexander the Great's kingdom, shall be broken by his death, and divided toward the four winds, the east, the west, the north, and the south of heaven. But not to his posterity, that means not according to his kids, nor according to the Grecian dominion which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be torn out and uprooted and go to others, to his four generals, to the exclusion of these. 5. Then the king of the south of Egypt shall be strong, but one of his princes shall be stronger, and is to have dominion. His dominion shall be a great dominion. 6. And at the end of some years, they, the kings of the north, Syria, and the kings of the south, Egypt, shall make an alliance. The daughter of the king of the south shall come to the king of the north to make a just and peaceful marriage agreement. But she shall not retain the power of her might, neither shall he and his might endure. She shall be handed over with her attendants, her child, and him who strengthened her in those times. 7. But out of a branch of the same ancestral root as hers shall come one who stands up in his place or his office, who shall come against the Syrian army, and shall enter into the fortress of the king of the north, and shall deal against them, and shall prevail. And also he shall carry off to Egypt their Syrian gods, with their molten images, and with their precious vessels of silver and gold, and he shall refrain for some years from waging war against the king of the north. 9. And he, the king of Syria, shall come into his kingdom of the king of the south, but he shall return to his own land. 10. But his sons shall be stirred up, and shall prepare for war, and shall assemble a multitude of great forces, which shall come on the overflow and pass through, and again shall make war even to the fortress of the king of the south. 11. And the king of the south, Egypt, shall be moved with anger, and shall come forth and fight with the king of the north, Syria. And he, the Syrian king, shall set forth a great multitude. But his multitude shall be given into the Egyptian king's hand. 12. When the multitude is taken and carried away, the heart and mind of the Egyptian king shall be exalted, and he shall cast down tens of thousands, but he shall not prevail. 13. For the king of the north shall rise a multitude greater than he had before, and after some years shall certainly return, coming with a great army and much substance and equipment. 14. In those times many shall rise up against the king of the south, and also men of violence among your own people shall lift themselves up in order to fulfill the visions of Daniel 8 and 9. But they shall fail and fall. 15. Then the king of the north shall come and cast up a siege work, and take a well-fortified city, and the forces of the south shall not stand, or even his chosen troops, for there shall be no strength to stand against the Syrian king. 16. But he, Antioch the Great, who comes against him from Syria, shall do according to his own will, and none shall stand before him, and he shall stand in the glorious land of Israel. And in his hand shall be the destruction, and all the land shall be in his power. 17. He, Antioch the Great, shall set his forces, or shall set his face to come. Let's do that one again. 17. He, Antioch the Great, shall set his face to come with a strengthening of his whole kingdom, and with him upright conditions and terms of peace, and he shall perform them by making an agreement with the king of the south. He shall give him his daughter to corrupt and destroy it with this league with Egypt and the kingdom, but it shall not succeed or be to his advantage. 18. After this he shall turn his attention to the islands and coastlands, and shall take over many of them. But a prince or a commander shall teach him, Antioch the Great, to put an end to all the insults offered by him. In fact, he shall turn his insolence and reproaches back upon him. 19. Then he shall turn his face back towards the fortress of his own land in Syria. But he shall stumble and fall and not be found. 20. Then shall stand up in his place or office one who shall send an exactor of tribute to pass through the glory of the kingdom. But within a few days he shall be destroyed, yet neither in anger nor in battle. Verse 21. And in his place or office, that's in Syria, shall arise a contemptuous and a contemptible person, to whom royalty and majesty and honor of the kingdom have not been given. But he shall come in without warning in a time of security, and shall obtain the kingdom by flatteries, intrigues, and cunning, hypocritical conduct. 22. Before him the overwhelming forces of invading armies shall be broken, and utterly swept away. Yes, and a prince of a covenant with those who were at peace with him shall also be broken and swept away. 4. And without warning and stealthily he shall come into the most productive places of the province, or among the richest men of the province. And he shall do that which his fathers have not done, nor his fathers' fathers. He shall distribute among them plunder, spoil, and goods. He shall devise plans against strongholds, but only for a time. 25. And he shall stir up his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall wage war with exceedingly and great a mighty army, but he shall not stand, for schemes shall be devised against him. Yes, those who eat his rich and dainty food shall break and destroy him, and his army shall drift or turn away and flee, and many shall fall down slain. 27. As for both of these kings, their hearts and minds shall be set on doing mischief. They shall speak lies over the same table, but it will not succeed, for the end is yet to be at the appointed time. 28. Then shall a vile conqueror from the north return to his land with much booty, and his heart and purpose shall be set against God's holy covenant, and he shall accomplish his malicious intentions and return to his own land. 29. At the time appointed, God's own time, he shall return and come into the south, but it shall not be as successful as it were in the former invasions. For the ships of Kittim shall come against him. Therefore he shall be grieved and discouraged, and turn back, and carry out his rage and indignation against the holy covenant and God's people. He shall do his own pleasure. He shall even turn his back and make common cause with those Jews who have abandoned the holy covenant with God. And armed forces shall appear in the Holy Land, and they shall pollute the sanctuary, the strongholds, and shall take away the continual burnt offerings. And they shall set up in the sanctuary the abomination that astonishes and makes desolate. 32. And such as violate the covenant he shall pervert and seduce with flatteries. But the people who know their God shall prove themselves strong and shall stand firm and do exploits for God. 33. And they who are wise and understanding among the people shall instruct many and make them understand, though some of them shall fall by the sword and by flame and by captivity and plunder for many days. Now when they fall, they shall receive a little help. Many shall join themselves with flatteries and hypocrisies. 35. And some of those who are wise, prudent, and understanding shall be weakened and fall. Thus, then, the insincere among the people will lose courage and become deserters. It will be a test to refine, to purify, to make those among God's people white, even to the time of the end, because it is yet for the time appointed. 36. And the king shall do according to his will. He shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak astonishing things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that which is determined by God shall be done. 37. He shall not regard the gods of his father, nor him whom women desires to give birth, the Messiah, nor any other god, for he shall magnify himself above all. 38. But in their place he shall honor the God of fortress, a God whom his fathers knew not, shall he honor with gold and silver, with precious stones and pleasant and expensive things. 39. And he shall deal with the strongest fortresses by the help of a foreign god. Those who acknowledge him he shall magnify with glory and honor, and he shall cause them to rule over many, and shall divide the land for a price. 40. And at the time of the end, the king of the south shall push at and attack him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind, with chariots and horsemen and many ships. And he shall enter into the countries, and shall overflow and pass through. 41. He shall enter into the glorious land, Palestine, Israel, and many shall be overthrown, but these shall be delivered out of his hand: Edom, Moab, the main core of the people of Ammon. 42. He shall stretch out his hand also against the other countries, but the land of Egypt shall not be among the escaped ones. 43. But he shall have power over the treasures of gold and silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt. And the Liberians and the Ethiopians shall accompany him, compelled to follow his steps. 44. But rumors from the east and from the north shall alarm and hasten him, and he shall go forth with great fury to destroy and utterly sweep away many. 45. And he shall pitch his palatial tents between the seas and the glorious holy Mount Zion. He shall come to his end with none to help him. Daniel 12, verse 1. At that time of the end, Michael shall arise, the great angelic prince who defends and has charge of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, of straitness and distress, such as never was since there was a nation till that time. But at that time your people shall be delivered, everyone whose name shall be found written in the book. 2. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt and abhorrence. 3. And the teachers and those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament, and those who turn many to righteousness, to uprightness and right standing with God, shall give forth light like the stars forever and ever. 4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously, and knowledge shall be increased and become great. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood 2 others, one on the brink of the river on this side, and the other of the brink of the river on the other side. 6. And one said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, How long shall it be to the end of these wonders? 7. And I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river. Then when he held up his right and his left hand towards the heavens, and swore by him who lives forever and ever, that it should be for a time, times, and a half time, or 3.5 years. And when they have made an end to the shattering and the crushing the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. In Daniel. Verse 8. And I heard, but I did not understand. Then I said, O my Lord, what shall be the issue and the final end of these things? 9. And the angel said, Go your own way, Daniel, for the words are shut up and sealed till the time of the end. 10. Many shall purify themselves and make themselves white, and be tried, smelted, and refined. But the wicked shall be doing wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. But the teachers and those who are wise shall understand. 11. And from the time the continual burnt offering is taken away, and the abomination that makes desolate is set up, there will be 1,290 days. 12. Blessed, happy, and fortunate, and spiritually prosperous, and to be envied is he who waits expectantly and earnestly, who endures without wavering beyond the period of tribulation, and comes to the 1,335 days. 13. But you, Daniel, who is now over 90 years of age, go your own way until the end, for you shall rest, and shall stand fast in your allotted place at the end of days.